Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome to Leo season. We have made it. We made it through Cancer season, and here we are in the thick of eclipse season. So speaking of that, I did eclipse oracle readings for all signs. The link for your sign watching here is below. Also, everything I'm about to talk about is in the description box below. Of course, if you want a private reading with me, you can access that below to my booking system. Prices are going to be going up for my birthday in Virgo season, so take advantage of those prices now. If you want access to the mid-month readings, you have two options for that. I now offer the ability to buy them by sign individually, or of course, you can join Siren Gang where you pay monthly and you get access to all 12 of the readings, plus a weekly energetic blog, plus $3 off my services. But when my prices go up, that discount will go from $3 off to $5 off. And I also listed some crystal sets for sale on my website as well, along with, of course, my ritual kit. So the description of that is below, and I've already sold about half of them. And if you guys really like them, I will start stocking them more often. I was just trying to gauge where everything was at. All the crystal sets that we have on the site now are going to be charged under the eclipses, so you have the opportunity to add any additional intentions you have and things like that and get them charged up. Of course, as always, if you have any questions for me or not sure which reading to get or whatever, of course, email me. The description is below. And if you want access to me on a more regular basis, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter @_spiritual_siren. Mwah. Pisces, so first I feel like the overall message is to not continue to fight yourself and fight what you know to be true. Sometimes we don't like when other people see our truth or see, through us and see into the truth before we do, or rather before we want to recognize it, right? Because we kind of always know our truth. We have to be very, very detached from self-reflection to kind of miss, right, our own self. With the Eight of Cups and the Eight of Swords, there's a deep, deep need to walk away from self-imposed limitations, right? And that message is mimicked and rippled in every single pair of cards we have here. That in order to grow, we have to believe that there's room for growth. In order to expand and leave behind false beliefs of what we are and are not able to achieve, we have to first believe that we can lift our own veil, that we can free ourselves from these shackles, right? And with the Five of Swords and the King of Cups here, again, it's saying that, are you really going to fight what you know to be true? Are you really going to fight your own nature, right? I feel like there's this idea here of fighting your own natural propensities, fighting your own just innate power, and just who you naturally are. I don't really think that this Five of Swords is somebody else arguing with you. It could be. It could be that you've been arguing with people about how to take your power back and how to feel empowered. But at the end of the day, I don't really feel like anyone else is wielding power over you. I think it's just that you're in a position where, especially when it comes to relationships and potentially creating better financial relationships, there's just been a stall. And you may be arguing with your partner about money, about what you're able to earn, what you're not able to earn, whatever, and that has caused a strain. But at the end of the day, there's nothing left to discuss, right? Because Seven of Pentacles and the Magician is saying that as long as you step back into your power, as long as you make this next phase of your life about using what you have in front of you, because we can't wait any longer. There's a need to not pump the brakes any further and to not validate your own power on what you have in the physical, right? Because the Seven of Pentacles talks about one thing being ready to come off the vine, but 6 have to wait. So instead of, I think I told this to Aquarius, instead of looking at things from a perspective of like, or no, it was Sagittarius, what I'm lacking, what I don't have, you have to look at what you do have. The Magician is very, very, very capable, okay? He understands that he may only have a little bit of each element, but that's enough to cook up what he needs, okay? So instead of fixating on what money is not coming in or what job opportunity is yet to brew, you need to instead focus your power on possibility, okay? All right, Pisces. So, I feel overall personal achievement is on your mind. Whether that is through your job, through changing your job, through getting a raise, whatever, right? Personal achievement, I feel, is the name of the game. And overall, you're in a lot better space than you have been over the last couple of months, okay? We do have the Tower moving into September, but I feel like this is going to be good news, okay? And you're finally feeling capable. Whatever, you know, this Seven of Cups energy is kind of natural for you when you're in a good space. So I don't really feel like this is hampering you in any regard. But there are still a lot of maybes, right? Maybes, possibly, whatever. And I think that if you allow it, it can distract you. In general, I think you're going to hold up fine this month, but there are a lot of, and I've been saying this a lot because it is eclipse season, there's a lot of moving pieces, right? That we can't even feel. So planning an energy like this is a little bit difficult, but at the same time, I think that you've been undertaking this type of task for a while. So remember not to dream too small. And remember that only what resonates with you matters. Okay? An option that doesn't resonate with you, an option that would require you to sacrifice your happiness, sacrifice your passion, sacrifice whatever, okay, is ultimately a short-sighted and a short path. Like, you can only go so far with that, okay? This month I was called to pull oracle cards as well, and we have success. I know that there is no greater goal than to love. So I feel it's really important, Pisces, that you love your life, okay? Love the life that you live, live the life that you love, be around people that you love. I feel like personal enjoyment, personal satisfaction is all going to feed into your ability to find a career or find more meaning in what you do. Because if money is not an issue, obviously this will be more about your personal life and your private life and what you do outside work. For those of you that don't have a job that they love, or, you know, are wanting to make more money in work, that's the kind of success we're talking about. But I don't know why I feel this way. This color just resonated as copper to me. So I don't know if some of you need to wear like those copper bracelets, or, you know what I mean, that kind of stuff to, I know copper helps people that have arthritis and it loosens up the joints and things like that. So I don't know who that message is for, but I just felt the need to say that. But overall, you're realizing that money, right, buys happiness to a certain extent. And then after that, if you don't know what makes you happy, if you don't know how to be happy, if you're not finding joy in what you do, right? Because too, even if you're making good money, if your job makes you feel like a terrible person, or you don't know if you could continue to do it for another 2 to 5 years, then that's going to take a toll on you. So I feel that the concept of success is getting dissembled this month, and you're really asking yourself, like, where am I going, you know, for the next 5 years, and how can I infuse more love into my life? How can I bring more fantasy into my reality? Because I know that I desire and deserve to live a dream life. What Spirit is asking you to release? We have the Four of Cups with the Page of Swords. And on the Page of Swords, we have love. So for some of you, I feel like it's important not to discount love, or not to discount your loved ones or the things that they tell you. Obviously, sometimes we have loved ones that are not really tactful, and they're not really self-aware, so they tell us things that don't really completely resonate with us, but they mean well. That's not really what I'm talking about. Because the Four of Cups shows some level of resistance and not really wanting to hear what somebody has to say, not wanting really to take their offer, because it might cause too much change. So I feel like this is emotional growth, or resistance to emotional growth, rather, because there's something about the Page of Swords that's immature, right? And we have the Page of Wands over here, too. We have this page energy mixed in with these kings and queens. Oh, I forgot to say. So when these cards came up, Neo's Miss Independent started to play in my head. And it was just that Miss Independent. That's why I love her. Like, you know, spend a little time, like, got your own money. So for some of you, I think that's going to be another person that you're going to have to find balance with, an independent person. And for others of you, it's finding your independence. Even if you're an adult and, you know, many, many years into adult life, it might be for the first time. Sorry, I didn't want to forget that. So with the Page of Swords here in love, I feel like Spirit is calling you to rise to a new octave of love and have a new way of expressing it, and understanding too that as we get older or as we get more mature, we have to learn that not everyone expresses love the same, and not everyone is super in tune to non-physical energy like you are, Pisces. I almost said Capricorn. And you do have to verbalize how you feel if you really want people to know. If you don't want your offers of love to get blocked by other people, or you don't want yours blocked, you have to communicate. Because I feel like there may be somebody that you love that doesn't, like, quote, love you the way that you love them, in the sense that they don't have the same love language. And it may be because your mother taught you that, like, you know, this is how you love, or that, and then this person loves you in a different way, or shows their love for you in a different way, and you guys argue just because you express love differently. It's not that you don't love each other. I feel like it's important to understand that everyone's love language is different, and we have to be open to different expressions, right? If you want people to be open to your expression. Also, I feel like you may have put love, like in a romantic sense, on the back burner, or even things you love, right? People you love on the back burner, in hopes to only, like, to really, really focus on being successful. But Spirit is saying that you have room to do both, and that a life without love is not a life worth living, okay? The door that's not open for you that was once closed, we have the Queen of Wands with the Six of Pentacles. On the Queen of Wands, we have healing. So again, especially if you're in a relationship with someone that's a lot more financially independent than you are, or even if you are that way as well and you're just used to being independent, and you want an independent person to be a partner with, there may be something to heal here around power. Not for all of you, but for some of you. I feel like if this is a romantic type of situation, if work is fine and you're trying to settle how to bring love into your life in a romantic sense, I feel like you need to heal some type of wound that may be from your mother, right? From the female figure in your life, that independent women don't want money spent on them or don't need anybody. Maybe you were raised by a single mom, right? Who did everything by themselves. And she, even if you're a man, she was like, you know, women don't need men, like, blah, 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 you know, just get your money because she needs to get her money and whatever. And it kind of created a rhetoric for you that, you know, even if you're successful, like, but you're on par with another independent person, that they really don't need anything from you, that they couldn't want anything from you. Because I feel like there's this fear that you can't ever satisfy the needs of a highly independent person, or that they'll never need anything from you, right, emotionally or otherwise, because they can provide it all for themselves, okay? For others of you, you may know how to be independent in spirit and do your own thing, but also there's times where you need help, right? I feel like this also is a need to remember that sometimes we have to ask for help, and that blocking, right, blocking assistance can end up making us less successful, like, because that would be a pride thing. Like, there may be something where you're afraid that asking for help and letting someone, you know, be of assistance to you will make you less independent, or will make you less seen as less of a man or less of a woman. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to take a toll on your reputation. Okay? The Queen of Wands is also someone that is very, very creative and very expressive. So I feel like you also need to heal a wound in your ability to create, right? And as well as to express yourself. you may express yourself in a very casual manner, but I'm talking about in a spiritual manner, in a passionate manner. Because there's something about your exchanges with people that are a lot more like aloof and a lot more, it's not even that they're really surface, they're just not getting to the core of things. Okay? And I feel like there's some kind of fear there. This message, there's a lot of different messages here for a lot of different people, but at the end of the day, it's all going to tie back into, I know that there is no greater goal than to love. So that includes loving yourself. And sometimes, again, that requires you being vulnerable for people, and that's not going to diminish your independence. Or for some of you, I just got the message you need to cut the umbilical cord with your mother and not expect, you know, lovers to replace that, or, you know, fathers or whatever. I'm sorry if that was a little jumbled. There's a lot trying to come through these cards. But at the end of the day, independence comes in many forms, and receiving in any capacity doesn't make us less independent. And just because someone is independent and identifies as independent doesn't mean that they don't want your help or don't want to get anything from you. Okay? Your current energy as it relates to all of this, we have the King of Pentacles in your head, the Eight of Pentacles in your heart with the rune wealth, and the Sun in your foundation with the rune safety. So I feel it's important to remember that your happiness is safe, okay? And then again, you're safe to be yourself, and you're safe to enjoy life. There's something here about, again, you feel like it's going to be taken from you. Like if you give up a more juvenile attitude and like get a better job or take on more responsibility, that suddenly you're not going to get to have any more fun anymore. Or on the flip side, if you don't work 60 hours a week, you only work 40, and you start, you know, going out every weekend or doing different fun things with your friends, that suddenly, you know, your money's not going to be safe, that your career focus isn't going to be safe. You need balance, Pisces, okay? Both, you know, a little bit of both, right? You really are two fish. You need to express both fish, because too much of one of them is gonna leave you depleted, and it's gonna leave you floundering, okay? So it's safe to channel your inner child in a way, like it's also safe to channel your inner child into work, okay? I feel like that's important for you to know too, because a lot of times growing up, we're told that we have to get realistic, get real, and, you know, give up fun and give up youthfulness in order to gain success, in order to gain financial stability. And the thing is, you know, to an extent, you're set in your ways with the King of Pentacles in your mind. To an extent, you are very comfortable with the beliefs that you have. But if anything, that's what's getting asked to be shifted moving into September. But also, you have to remember that you are very, you know, financially astute when it comes to everything. So as long as you have your head on straight, which I feel you do with this King of Pentacles in your mind, you know, keep your mind focused on how you can breed more physical success, but don't allow that to dampen your personal expression and the need to just live. Because I feel like some of you are in survival mode, okay? With the Eight of Pentacles and wealth in your heart, it's important to remember that if we truly want to reap the largest benefits from life, we have to work on what we love, and we have to work on love. And that is how we tap into the wellspring of abundance. Because I feel like you either have one or the other. Like you have really loving relationships, but in a good social life, but not enough money. So that strains your relationships at the end of the day, or you feel like you can't go out and do everything you want to do. Or you focus all your time on work and you have a bunch of money that you could blow whenever, but you don't feel like, you feel like if you take too much time off or like, you know, to cut back on hours, that suddenly it's all going to, you know, fall apart. Okay, I feel like it's one or the other. And at the end of the day, that's confusing you. Okay, and that's making you think that there's a lot more moving parts than there is. But the true wealth to life, right, the true key to success is to focusing on what you love, working on at the heart of things, and listening to your heart. Okay, focusing on what your heart is saying, and that is how you tap into wealth. Spirit's advice, we have the Page of Wands with the King of Swords. And on the Page of Wands, we have fertility. So, again, if you're looking for work right now, I do feel that there are people out there that will respond to you if you put your passionate foot forward, if you will, if you put your charisma forward, if you act excited, you know what I mean? If you have that youthful excitement, people will notice it, and I feel like that will breed more opportunity for you. The King of Swords, though, is also, again, a reminder that you need to communicate clearly about, again, how invested you are, how excited you are. If you're applying for jobs or at interviews, it's going to be important that you really, well, it's easier if you actually do care about the job, right? You're not just playing, but that you show up with enthusiasm and like a spirit of like being ready and willing to learn, like roll your sleeves up and like get in there. For others of you, I feel it's important if you're making offers to somebody that you want to see them or that you want to like start, engaging with them. If this is a, because we do have 2 wands here like this. If this is a sexual offer or a more playful offer, the more clear you are and the more you verbally communicate with that person, the more you will succeed in actually getting their attention, okay? Most likely outcome, we have the Tower with the Rune Luck and the Ace of Wands. And I feel like this is saying, like, you never know what could turn out in your favor, so you might as well, again, go in with this, like, really high spirit and just give it, like, your best effort. I don't know. It keeps evading me what phrase exactly I want to use. It's like Scout's Honor, which is that's not the phrase I want to use. But it's important to put your best foot forward and really, really come in there with a lot of heart. I feel like having a lot of heart, that phrase, is really important this month. Put your heart into it because the universe is really, really responding to action right now. And Mars goes direct on the 27th, my birthday. And it's going to be important that you are in forward motion, okay? Because you'll see Mars in your sign by February. Oh, I'm lying. Wow, I meant October. I don't know what's going on in February besides your birthday coming up, but I have no idea where I just pulled February from. It's definitely going to be there by October. Whoops. I just knocked over a crystal owl. Poor thing. All right. Your energy is a little bit scattered mentally, but I think that you will lock it down once you just listen to what your heart is saying and turn that into tangible advice. Ideas come to me easily and effortlessly. I release all resistance to expressing my creativity fully. So remember that you're a limitless being, Pisces, and that all the ideas that you get, for the most part, do deserve to come into form. But the only way you're going to be able to bring them into form is you remember that it's not about whether or not the idea yields funds immediately or whatever. It's that you are enjoying yourself while you're creating it, okay? I hope that all made sense. Love you. Peace.